everyone. I'm Angela Kirkian. I'm the Director of Education here at PPA, and today we are excited just to sit down and chat with you guys. We know it's a really tough time, and you guys are going through a lot right now, especially as small business owners. So we're going to have a great conversation. You know, we're all in this together. One of the amazing things that I've been watching happen in our community of photographers is seeing how everyone is really coming together and supporting one another. And so I want to thank Mary Taylor and Kira Derryberry for joining us today for what we're going to call In It Together. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela. We're so happy to be here. And you are so right. We are all in this together. You know, if any of you guys don't follow, I love Seth Godin. He's a big, I just think he's just brilliant, obviously. But, you know, his post this morning, or the email he sent out this morning from his blog was talking about, you know, calm versus panic, and how they both breed, you know, whatever is the majority. Whereas we all want to try to be calm and remain calm, let's not forget that sometimes panic, which also can be excitement and energy, is something that we can all collaborate on too. So it's not always a bad thing, because in this situation, whereas we want to try to be as calm as possible and share that, you know, sometimes the panic will incite some really great ideas, and that's what we're hoping to do with all of this great information. And thank you, PPA, for opening up the EDU and getting that new landing page available to all of us, and sharing so much great content, because it creates that excitement that will get us all through this.
Yeah, I'll just send that out here for those of you guys who haven't gone to visit it yet. It's ppa.com/inittogether. We're adding new stuff all the time. There's lots of information coming out about the new government, things that the government's doing, all of those resources. So we're gonna be sharing a lot of information consistently and over time. So just make sure you check back there if you have questions.
Thank you guys for tuning in. So I can see all these people, all these friends that are jumping on, a bunch of people that I don't know. I think we're all sort of in the same place right now. As Mary said, I mean, we're hoping that what this does is it just generates a lot of new ideas, different ways that we can be connecting with our clients, different ways that we can be connecting with our business and within our photography community. I don't know about you guys, but I think I do know, because we've been talking to so many photographers over the last few days. But I needed to have a couple of days to freak out, and I'm still freaking out every once in a while. But then I'm finding that talking to more people, my work family, talking to more photographers is really helping me. It's really helping me kind of get out of my own way about, oh my gosh, this is happening. And then starting to focus on, okay, what can I be doing? Because I am always busy. Mary, you're always busy. Angela, you're always busy. And then suddenly with this like full stop, it sort of just like hit us in the face.
Yeah.
You know, so Mary and I have been working alongside a ton of other photographers that we know, influencers out there, to kind of create some content for you guys, some things that you guys can be doing, actionable things that you can take away. So thank you for joining us. I'm just so excited. I'm seeing all these people jump on. Mary.
Yeah, Kira.
Hi.
You're so pretty.
Oh, thanks. You are too, buddy.
You too, Angela. So much love. I love the virtual hug that Ronan Ryle shared this morning. Jen Helenga out of New York City created it, and I've been sharing it like crazy because I'm a hugger. And it's just been so interesting. But, you know, you're so right, Kira. You know, it's the outpouring of support and love has just been amazing. And, you know, the one thing that I think has struck me as I've, you know, maneuvered through this week and tried to navigate is that the inundation of great information has become a little bit overwhelming for me. So something that I really focused on yesterday afternoon and wrote about and thought a lot about is, you know, how we need to take all this gracious and giving information in, take advantage of this gift of time, you know, as Kira alluded to, and how we can filter through it and come up with a plan of implementation. Many of us had already, I'm a planner, as some may or may not know, but my entire plan was forcibly erased. Yeah. Right? My entire marketing, sales, strategic business plan that I did months ago, Kira, I was agonizing over. That board, as Gregory Daniel, our amazing PPA president, would say, was erased and wiped clean. So I'm starting from ground zero well into, the first quarter. So implementation is something we need to think about. So take these information, write down these great ideas. Hey, all of y'all that went to Nashville back at the end of January and took all those notes, pull them out of the desk drawer, get them out of the suitcase, wherever they're living, and start filtering through and grabbing those nuggets, those things that really resounded and spoke to you, and let's make a plan to implement them when the time is right. I do not think that now is the time for implementation, but I think now is the time to plan that implementation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So one of the things that I started working on yesterday, and I've seen a bunch of other people doing it as well, is starting to ask clients for Google reviews. It seems like a little bitty thing, but Google reviews actually increase your SEO just tons. So, and I went and started looking at my Google reviews a couple of months ago, and I had positive ones, but I had like a handful of them. I didn't have a ton. So this is a great way to boost your SEO results by going through and asking your clients, thank you guys for your support and your love and your supporting small business. This is, we would love it if you would support us by leaving us a good Google review. I just moments ago posted on me and Mary's blog on getyourshoottogether.com/blog a guide for how to find your Google review link, because it turns out they didn't make that super, super easy to do.
No, they didn't.
So if you have no idea how to even find the link, because that's half the battle, friends, I posted a little blog post if you go to that link, and it's actually a link to where you can have instructions for how to find that link, and then some great tips for how you can create some graphics for that, how you can shorten the URL, because it makes a really ugly URL for that. So go over there, start doing that. You can be posting that to your clients over the next however long. Every once in a while, change it up, make it look cool. I hope you find the examples helpful over there.
Yeah, and Kira, I use Revenue Jump. I've used that forever, or for a while actually, and it's the same. If you're not as savvy as Kira Derryberry is, then Revenue Jump makes it super easy for me. I can put a little note and ask for the reviews, and I always, as I complete an order, I immediately send that request. And guys, it's not, the SEO is crucial. And especially now more than ever, we want to stay top of mind. So it's going to help you. The higher, obviously, SEO helps with rankings, helps you come up, all that great stuff that I know nothing about, but I know it's important. I'm smart enough to know that somebody knows a lot more than me about it. But you also can use these great reviews. Somebody's going to tell me. You can also use these great reviews. And I will copy them, and I will use those as social proof when I'm creating my marketing pieces. Very rarely will I create a drip campaign for emails or a marketing piece that I don't include some of those reviews. Now, I always will just kind of mark out their name or block out most of their name and maybe just give them initials or something. But I will take that actual review and add it to my emails, add it to my marketing pieces, because when people see those 5-star reviews and those amazing, accolades, that really gives you social proof. It's a way to just let the community know that, hey, other people believe in me and have said these really nice things. Also, if you get them, when people give you a review, please comment back. Thank them. Yes. Don't just collect them and go, hee, I got all these great reviews. Get on there. Google will let you know every time you get one. Say thank you so much and give them just a canned message, a personal. I can't believe that it's been a year. I can't wait to see you again. Thank people, because people love to people that come from a place of grace. So love that, Kira, and I hope people will get that resource. I thought those were really, really well done.
So I'm getting lots of great comments. We've got lots of people on right now. And so it's at the bottom there, the getyourshoottogether.com, their blog. So that's where you can go to get that information for those of you who are asking.
Yes. Thanks, Angela.
Yeah. And then, I'm sorry. Go ahead. See,
no,
you.
I like to be in between these two. I feel like I don't really have to say much. They've got this covered.
You're silly.
They do this together a lot. But it's, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Angela. I talk too much. I was going to go back to the implementation. We have to set the right expectations. So Kira, the resource is there. Download it, use it, and put your own thumbprint on it, make it your own. And, set the right expectations. Don't put this out there and then get bummed out. Set a realistic expectation that, what, if I get 2 reviews this week, I am going to be thrilled. And then make a plan of what you're going to do with those. So then say, what, the first 2 5-star reviews I get, I'm going to create this great new senior guide because it's time, and I'm going to add those to it. So implement. Don't just do these things and sit back and collect. Use them for the future, because we're in this together, but we're all going to come out of this together as well.
And guys, I apologize because we're like, okay, we have all these things. Here you go. So we're just spitting them out fast. So you are going to get to rewatch this. Please don't worry. You will get to rewatch it, and you're not going to miss anything. But I know you're going to get a ton out of this. The point I wanted to make too about this Google review thing, and then the next thing I wanted to bring up, was that right now, as people are sort of getting acclimated to working from home, they're setting up their kids for possibly being homeschooled, which freaks me out because I don't know if I can do that, but we're gonna see. And so what we are seeing is a massive rise in people's social media interactions. So your clients are on Facebook, they are on Instagram, they are on it a lot. And so some of the things that you could be posting in addition to that. Now, I'm taking some guidance on some of the other webinars we've been on, so I wanted to credit those people. I know Allison Taylor-Jones and Catherine Langsford on a different webinar we were on for 3XM, they mentioned that they were going back through their client images and just finding some favorite images over the past and posting those. You were doing it too, Mary. Posting them, tagging people, and just saying, oh, I came across this. Mary, you had one where you posted. Tell people about what happened there.
Yeah, I want to. A lot of our friends, clients are small business owners, and I know they're suffering as well. So I really targeted those. And one of our amazing clients, she's been just forever, wedding all the way through now. She's got her oldest is 12. I'm old. I've done this for a while. I went back and found her kiddo's 3-year-old, oil portraits that we did. And I knew that she had just had to close her businesses and everything for gosh knows how long. And I just posted them. And I'm like, and I posted it on my business page, and then I personally commented and tagged her. And I was like, I thought this might brighten your day. She not only called Jamie, she called the studio in tears because we're social distancing, so I wasn't at the studio, but she called Jamie in tears. She posted and she shared it, and it went kind of mini viral in my little community because everyone in our businesses was commenting, and Hayes and Fisk was just constantly in that feed. So it didn't cost me a penny. It just being thoughtful and very intentional and reimagining everything that we're doing right now. So instead of me posting those and doing a whole story brand dialogue of why you need to do this, I'm saying I'm giving this to you today because you need a little extra sunshine,
How fortunate are we that we work in an industry that is so relationship oriented, and we do get to gift people. I mean, what we do is so important, and it's kind of underscores those kind of stories.
That's so true. That is so true, Angela.
It's what we need right now. It's what everybody needs right now. It's like, I look in the feed, and it's so, especially those first couple of days, it's just so doom and gloom. If I see I've started posting old pictures of my daughter and me from time, just that's coming up in the little time hop thing. And I'm getting a ton. People want sunshine in their feeds right now. Not that this is a sunshiny time, but we just need that break from every COVID-19 meme and angry political post that keeps happening, So I think we're doing people a favor too, and we're remaining relevant in the algorithm, which is so important to do. Just because we're not focusing on sell like we always do, it still keeps us relevant and in people's news feeds and in people's minds.
I agree. Something else that this hit me really hard this week. But we found out, so both of my kiddos were due to graduate from college and grad school in May. I was going to see my baby boy who worked so hard, walk and graduate from college, and my daughter from this international program she's been in from graduate school, and they've all been canceled. So done. I'll never see him walk or graduate. And I got so I'm getting upset now, but I got so upset about it. And then I started thinking about all of because we have a volume studio as well, my mom and sister and I, and we photograph a lot of seniors in a lot of schools and a lot of sports, and all that's been canceled and taken away from these kiddos, these milestones that when you're 18 years old, that prom dress and that whole experience, you've been looking forward to that for how long? Not to mention weddings and things being postponed. But I immediately, for our volume studio, just reached out and said, guys, we have to acknowledge that we're missing these milestones. We have to acknowledge that we're hurting because of it. But when it's all said and done and the dust settles, we're going to be here and free mini milestone sessions. So bring that prom dress in, get that tuxedo out, get that cap and gown or dance pictures or whatever it is that's happening. Get all those out here and we're going to photograph them for free. Just a mini session. Now, I will probably have little collections and things for sale because I'm a business person at heart. But I got more messages and response from just posting that and saying, we acknowledge this is happening, because you kind of feel like a jerk when you're like, well, I'm really sad today because I won't see my kiddo graduate from college when people are dying and suffering and all this. But it does hurt. So I think me just saying it, that this is a big deal and we need to acknowledge it in my little corner of the world, had a huge impact with my client base. And I think those resources are also on the blog, or what I did. And you can make it much better, I'm sure, than I did. But I just put that out there and it'll go out in an email campaign and we'll continue to share that message. And little things we can do to give people a little bit of hope or something to look forward to is kind of the way we can market in our business right now and come out on, feeling better about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've got people are so excited to be on. Thank you guys. I got people messaging me. I'm trying to pop it down so I can still see everybody. So another thing that we, in addition to the milestone sessions, I'm still getting people who are telling me that they want to book headshots. I'm not getting a ton of inquiries about family sessions, but I'm definitely getting people for my smaller sessions. And some of you commercial photographers and headshot photographers, you might be getting some stuff like that too. One of the things that I set up, of course, not to sell, but to be ready to sell when the time comes, was setting up e-gift cards. I did that through Square, but instead of fire sailing, panic sailing, which is my impulse was immediately, by the way. So if that's your impulse too, to run a big sale right now, I get it, because I went there too. But I texted Mary and I was like, I'm going to do this e-gift card thing. What do you guys think about this? And she was like, well, yeah, you can partner with a local charity. And I was like, of course I can. Thank you. So what I did, because sometimes my brain gets ahead of me.
Yes, I can.
Yes. So what I did is I set it up. So I set up e-gift cards because I didn't have that already, a way to do that. And you may already have a way to do that. But if you don't and you accept Square, you can do that. I set that up and then I advertised it as 10% of all the headshot session proceeds now through the end of May. Anything that I book now through the end of May, 10% of those proceeds will be going to a charity, this local charity here in Tallahassee called Second Harvest, which is helping with the food shortage that a lot of kids are going through right now, because some of the kids were getting fed at school. And so now that they're not at school, they're really suffering there. So I partnered up with that charity. I'm sure all of you have local charities that you could partner up with in your town, but that is a great way to, one, put the money back into the community, because that's what we need to do right now, but also be marketing. I'm going to be honest, I'm not getting a ton of people like chomping at the bit to buy these headshot sessions, but all of that, I've booked 3 in the last week. And the ones that are booking in the last week, they're like, oh, this is a great idea. Thank you so much for doing that. So I'm ready as they're coming in. And I do think that things are going to start picking back up. And then when they do, you'll be ready to take all that on.
Yeah, that's great. You're really great about all that automation. And I think that a lot of us probably have a lot of things that we've been meaning to do, whether it's, your studio management software or your, setting up Calendly so you can do online for maybe mini sessions or, executive or branding sessions. These are things that we've been meaning to look into and set up and heard about, but we haven't had the time. Well, we all have it now.
How many of you guys have an inspiration folder where you take all the things throughout the year that you put into a folder on email and you're like, I'm going to look at that someday when I have time?
Yeah. We all kind of have
today
that.
is someday.
Today is someday. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're getting lots of, again, great comments on here, guys. We have one question related to high school seniors. I'm going to try to find it because we keep getting lots of additional comments here. I think she said something about she had gone to camps. Was there anything that you could recommend sending high school seniors, or would you do that in snail mail, or would you do something with them online? Any ideas for connecting with high school seniors?
I'll let you take that, Mary.
Yeah. So something that we're doing besides the mini milestones is that we are, because now it's time for, we would usually be doing announcements, and a lot of our announcements involve where they're going to go to school next year, because we usually do a little quick mini session here with them in their college t-shirt or sweatshirt or what have you. So this year, because of that, we're allowing them to take a fun selfie and send it to us, and we're adding that to our announcements back. So whereas we normally would do that in studio, it's something we can't do right now, but they want to get their announcements, nailed down, even if there isn't going to be the actual ceremony. So I'm really pushing and talking about, hey guys, let's announce something positive. Let's get these announcements done. So we're doing a lot of that virtually or online. And that's something that's getting the seniors and the moms or the parents a little bit excited, because here again, this is something that's possibly being taken away from them, but we're still talking about it and celebrating it. And I think starting next week, we're going to start doing little quick pop-up announcements congratulating these kids on where they're going to school and what their future is, because we have to look down the road and I think feed that type of positive energy, especially to these teens. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough time, and we all probably or maybe remember being that age, and it's hard enough, So anything we can do on our social media or through email, celebrating and congratulating what they have achieved, because they may not get to do it very publicly in the next few weeks. So we're trying to do it.
All of the stuff that we're talking about is there's such great connections. There's such great touch points with our clients. It's almost like you want to put a system into place now so you can actually do these really important things in the future when you don't have the time,
Oh my gosh, yes.
to be doing all of this.
Yeah. I cannot stress enough. And I'm sorry, Kara, and I've said this I think I said this to both of you guys the other day. I hope that the biggest silver lining that comes out of this is that we don't stop this engagement, this positive attitude, this touching base, just reaching out, texting your friends and family, hey, how are you? Just checking on you. Or gosh, imagine this. The first thing we did was send out a huge, email from Jamie and I to our clients. How are you? Is there anything we can do? Do you know someone that needs to run to the grocery or the pharmacy? Or can we sponsor a meal for children that maybe are needy? And the response we got was, it just filled my soul. It just filled my heart with so much love. And I'm like, why don't I do this more? And I'm a big preacher about 80-20, giving content, but it became robotic. And I think that the more we can keep this up, it just, the better human beings will all be.
I agree. Yeah. And Angela, when you and I were talking yesterday, and I don't want to forget to say this because Mary made me think of it just now. And there's an ambulance running by my house. My office. But we need to be communicating with our clients, but we also need to be ready to meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
I have clients who I think I just kind of assumed that everybody was just like full stop cancel, the ones that were already scheduled. But, I have some of these headshot clients that are still, they still need these headshots. The law firm that I work for is still needing to market their new employee, and they still need me to update that group photo for them. I basically contacted all of my clients that I had on the books for March and April, and was like, hey, I just want to kind of see where we're at. I can still take a headshot session from a distance, you know what I mean? Individually, as long as I'm cleaning, but I also don't want to like make somebody feel like they have to come, if they don't want, I kind of wanted to put the ball in their court, so to speak, and I had several that were like, yeah, absolutely, let's just reschedule. And so we did. knowing that we may have to reschedule again if we have to. And then some that were like, no, I think we can do it. Let's go ahead and go through it, that we really need to get it done. So give them the opportunity to tell you kind of where they're at, check in with them. Try not to sound super self-serving. I know that's like an obvious thing because we're all sort of worried about money. We're all worried about income, but come to them from a place of grace and be like, how are you? How are you feeling?
Yeah,
How are you feeling about doing the session later?
Yeah, I think, again, Kira and I were chatting about this yesterday, and that whole concept too of meeting them where they are is not having those preconceived ideas, right? That everything is at full stop, because there's lots of advice going on. And one example is, we don't want to be selling to them right now. We don't want to be pushing. We don't want to be marketing or taking advantage of the situation. And yet I've also talked to photographers who've had really good sales right now because it makes their clients' hearts happy to have these photographs. So figuring out, listen to them, listen to your customers, listen to your clients, find out what their needs are, the needs of their heart right now. Because it's going to be all over the board. It's going to be shut down to wide open. And I think picking up the phone and making a phone call right now is one of the strongest things you can do, because people are craving that connection.
Oh, I can't. And that was, I think we talked about this the other day. Like, yeah, I've had 2 online sales. So I had I think 5 sales sessions this week. 3, I reached out. They were just not in the headspace for it. And that was totally fine. No worries. We'll touch base later. 2 were like, yeah, how can we do this? And they, of course, if they'd wanted to come to the studio, one of us would have been there and done our best. But we did them both online, and they both were great sales. One, I was not expecting to be that high at all. And I think I told you, the mom just said, you know what? I am so not happy. I'm so sad right now. And my kid, this makes me happy, and I'm treating myself, and I deserve it. And I was like, well, good for you. And good for me. I mean, quite frankly. But another thing is that I have been reaching out, because I still photograph weddings. I've been reaching out to some of my couples that haven't finished their album. And just yesterday on a Skype call, not only are we wrapping up the design, they upgraded to a double volume set. And it's just because they are sitting there right now. They're fully focused on wedding images, which they're both very busy professionals, and they hit the ground running and after the wedding, and they have time to sit there, and they were just couldn't get rid of anything. So we had to upgrade, and they were really happy to do it, and I just take the lead from my clients. But, shouldn't we always? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shouldn't we always?
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's a good lesson. It's a good lesson. I think it's almost like we're getting practice, on ways that we can be. And again, we talked about this earlier, just taking these things into our future. And I think that people understand too that we're small business owners, and I think some people are actively trying to support small business owners right now. I do think that that's top of mind for a lot of people. And so, we had a restaurant here in Atlanta that's shutting down, right? Because everything's closing. And they did a huge gift certificate campaigns for when they come back, and you could buy these gift cards. And I think they sold $50,000 in a day of gift cards, because people want to support that restaurant. They understand that this is a hard time. And so, those kinds of things, I do feel like people understand. They want to be helpful.
Yeah, I do think people understand. I think people, it's strange. I mean, nobody has ever experienced anything like this before, and I know that's going to start sounding cliche, but not only has the photography industry been leveled, everybody's kind of in the same place, but actually everybody's in the same place,
right?
And everybody's dealing with it in different ways. And I think I'm hoping that if anything good comes out of this, is that people just come out of it a lot more understanding and a lot more willing to meet people and where they're at, and be kinder, and supportive. I hope. Let's just hope.
I think we will. And, I think that, as professional photographers, and those of us that are, and, those of us that are, more sound in our business, or take this very seriously, which I know probably everybody on here does, because you're listening and learning, the value of what we have in situations like this always rises to the top. I was in business at 9/11. I was in business through the 2008, recession, and family portraits, children's portraits, milestones, heirlooms, legacy, whatever you want to call it, seniors, wedding, it always rises to the top, and the value increases, especially during times of depressions, recessions, or crisis. It just does. So those of us that are staying top of mind, that are engaging with our clients, that are engaging with our community by partnering with local businesses, promoting local businesses. We have an entire campaign that starts Monday, and all I'm doing is an entire drip campaign, social media campaign, and blog posts about local businesses that are doing great things here in Richmond, who are, a trainer that's doing online workouts and nutrition plans, et cetera. So, all of us that are doing these things are going to be here, and people are going to call us because they're going to say, I need it,
They are. So I want to share a personal story, if that's okay with everyone.
Sure.
I started my business 10 years ago, and my business was it was born out of the housing market crisis. Because when I was, during that time, I had a 2-year-old, and I was working in advertising, and all of the work just sort of dried up all of a sudden. Like the housing market tanked, and over just a few weeks, people started getting cut to part-time. And I was one of the people that got cut to part-time. And I had gone to school and studied photography, but I didn't really know what to do with it as a business, to make a business out of it. So during this time that I suddenly had in my hands, I just did everything I could to figure out how to have a business, figure out how to market, figure out how to create a website, figure out how to price my stuff, figure out how to get new clients. I just spent every waking moment that I didn't have a baby on my lap trying to figure out how to change careers. And I woke up the other day with kind of that day where I just sort of felt like super energized, was realizing that now that we have all this time, and we keep saying that, the gift of time, we could come out of this better than we were before.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we start spending this time not only connecting with our clients and market and doing some pre-marketing things like we've been talking about so far, but also bettering your skills. This is a great opportunity. PPA just opened up that vault of videos. Over 1,000 videos are on the PPA vault. And I want to make sure we talk about those videos just a little bit here, because now that you have some extra time on your hands, this is the time to learn that new skill that you have been waiting to learn because you just haven't had time. So if you're not already on, and I know this page is open up to everyone, not just PPA members. So if you're not a PPA member, PPA has opened up that vault through the end of March. Is that correct, Angela? Through the end of March?
Right now, and we're going to be analyzing that and seeing where we are on it, so that it may be extended. And there's everything in there, you guys. There's photography, there's technique. If you're studying for your CPP exam,
that's what I was going to say.
Certified photographer, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there specifically for that. There's business, there's entrepreneurial skills. I mean, it's everything. There's a little bit of everything in there. So
image
I'm pretty
competition.
sure I think you'll see Mary and Kira in there too if you go looking.
if you're lucky. Image competition. Districts is open if you are like some of us and love, to better up, level up our photography by entering image competition. There's some great resources on that. And now's a great time to maybe, if you've been thinking about doing it, sit down and put a case together. I mean, there's a lot of things we can be doing. And I don't think any of us want to or intend to or trying to paint some unrealistic picture. No. I think all three of us have admitted we had a breakdown. We're in panic. We cried. I cried so hard the other day, and then I decided to try to use a coffee maker or a really fancy coffee thing that I was given 2 years ago, and I failed at it. And I don't even drink coffee, but I became a barista for a solid 42 minutes.
I had to cook an actual meal.
But I needed to do something because I had to do something. When I get nervous or upset, I have to learn, and I just had read everything I owned and I just needed to do something. So, we're all having those moments, and I feel sick to my stomach. And I will tell you guys, this morning, Jamie and I both had a list, and we reached out, we called, and we're in a really great position where we can weather this storm. because we have had these experiences and know better. So financially, we're going to weather this storm. You know, I practice Dave Ramsey personally. I practice Profit First as a business, but we still called Adobe. They are, you know, giving a 90-day grace period. We called, you know, I pay my credit cards off every month, but we called, you know, I recommend calling if you do have any, you know, ask about a lower payment or lower interest rate. If you are renting, maybe call your landlord. Do not avoid this. Do not pick up the phone and ask. I think as human beings, that ask is a very hard thing for us because we might hear this really little tiny word called no. No is not personal. No is just a fact that the receiver has to give you. But if you don't ask, you don't know. So please don't sit back and just, you know, get under your gravity blanket and ignore this. Ask and try to make things as easy as you can. Right?
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good advice.
Yeah. Because I think we tend to ignore, and I grew up that way. I mean, you know, or maybe some of us did, or, you know, it's just easier just to pretend. And well, we need to not pretend. This is real. It's happening. Let's own it. And let's take as much control as we can because we have so little.
And don't assume that someone's going to say no. I mean, I love that you're calling all those people. I wouldn't have thought to call Adobe. You know, but that's great. That's really great.
It'll help. Every little bit's going to help everybody right now, right? You know, I mean, that's what we need to do. And you know, speaking of those PPA videos, which gosh, thank you so much, PPA, and the page that it's referenced here, you know, where you can go and keep up to date what's happening on the Hill. If you're like me, I'm a big nerd about that and love to see everything that PPA has been doing for us and sharing all the great information. But there's a great resource that Kara created. That her 5 favorite videos, right? That's right.
I did, and we're hoping to be doing more of these blog posts where we pull from some more of those PPA videos. But the first one that I did are more about. I pulled 5 of my favorite videos for photography technique. So I've got some favorite, creating self portraits with Dan McClanahan. I've got photographing glass. I've got a list of them there. And so Mary's going to put together some of her favorite business videos. One that just came to mind when we were talking about print competition is I remembered yesterday, Angela, that I have a PPA EDU video all about like a start to finish from a competition image. So if you want to look me up there, you can actually go look at an analysis of a loan image and where all of the things that I did to edit it from concept to completion. So you can go and do that if you're trying to beef yourself up, get yourself ready for image competition. We're gonna put out we're gonna try and keep posting resources as much as we can alongside PPA. PPA is really where you're gonna be posting a lot of resources.
That's great. And again, I know it's a lot of information. It just baby steps, y'all. Figure out one little piece, one thing you want to work on at a time and dive in because otherwise you'll get really overwhelmed.
No, that's so true. And I talked about this morning, but it's worth mentioning. There's there's a book called Small Moves, Big Changes by Caroline Anderson, I believe. And she talks about micro resolutions. So if you're feeling like me, sometimes we're not just the inundation and the entire you start just freeze and you can't figure out how to implement. Start with those micro resolutions, just one little thing at a time. I cannot take all this on, but like Kira said, I'm going to learn this. Not I'm going to learn how to take better pictures. That's just broad and overwhelming and it'll weigh you down. But I'm going to learn how to do a better facial analysis before. And look that video up, learn it, perfect it, then move to the next. Don't just try to take it all on. Micro resolutions, I think right now, especially during a time like this, are things that we can personally handle. We can put cues on and we can put, timelines on and we can actually accomplish them. So it's a really good idea to do that. And let me tell you guys something we did yesterday if we have time. This was really interesting. Jamie did this, and I don't normally give that poor guy a lot of credit, but I'm going to give him credit on this one. He FaceTimed on his iPad 3 different people that are not photographers and are not clients. They're actually friends of ours, other professionals that live, all 3 of them happen to live out of state, neither here nor there. One is a really good friend of ours who's a designer and decorator up in New York City, blah, blah, blah. And he FaceTimed and he walked them all through our studio. from the entrance, from the parking lot, all the way through, and just said, tell me what looks good and tell me what sucks. Because we've been meaning to change out studio samples, fix that, little paint's not expensive, guys. Do these little things. And we got our butt handed to us yesterday. But we have this, he has this list now of things that he's working on. And I called my lab and I said, I need new studio samples, and they're being amazing. There's lots of discounts and lots of different things. So reach out to your labs, frame companies, album companies. If you need to update those samples, maybe they'll work with you. Maybe they can defer payments or different things. You just have to ask. But man, we did that tour and we've got a really long list of things to do now. And with the gift of time,
and
we're
now
going to
you
get them
can.
done.
And now you
There you
can.
go.
I just did something similar with White House. So, so I'm actually still working with White House right now on getting all my studio samples updated during this time. Because, now we can make a mess here if we need to,
Yeah.
So this is a good time to update your spaces, get things ready for the bounce back, because it is going to bounce back. It's not like photography is being erased from the planet, guys. Like, people need it, so it's gonna come back, and you need to be ready for when it does.
Yeah, and since we can't create family pictures right now, something that we're going to start next week at Hayes is, and we're working on getting the implementation on it right now, but we're going to start reaching out to our clients and saying, hey, we can't create, but we want to see creative images, and we're going to ask them to share their family at home right now. So I don't know what we're going to get. Like, I think it's going to be really funny. Just send us really fun, phone screenshots or whatever of just them, like, probably eating or watching TV, or everybody on their site. But we're just going to start reaching out and try to make a fun collective post about it. Just we want to see your family smiling faces. We can't be together, but let's share. So I had a few clients already reach out, and we're working on it. But I think it'll be funny. Anything I can do to interact with them and make them smile or make them laugh and make me feel better is all the things we're trying to do. And I think it'll be a great share on social media, and it'll make people smile.
Yeah,
I think that's great. I think that's really great. I know we're running on about 45 minutes now. Thank you guys so much for we don't have to keep it to 30 minutes. That's totally fine. Sorry. No, I love it. You guys, thank you. You've shared so many great ideas. Just in good heart, right? Like, it's all about just being connected in your community, doing good things right now. It's really everything that you're doing is building your brand. It's how people
Absolutely.
feel about you. And we are in a relationship business. So taking those opportunities to build a relationship right now, having the gift of time to learn new things. Anything else you guys want to add as we wrap this up?
I love you guys. I just do.
Yeah.
I just
Me
do.
too.
I don't know. I don't mean to make it silly, but I just this community builds me up and lifts me up, and I don't know what I would do without PPA and the people I've met through PPA and my local affiliate. And I wouldn't know you guys. I don't know. I feel very connected to you guys even more. I think I was going through a little time where I was feeling a little disconnected from people, and somehow that's the good thing that's come out of this is I am in constant contact with everyone, even though I'm all by myself.
That's really, really true. I think community is one of those things that we maybe take a little bit for granted. And we talk a lot about PPA and community, but really this week has shown me what that actually means.
Yeah.
I just want to thank everyone.
And echo what Kira says really quick, but I cannot stress enough. You guys sift through all this noise that you're getting and make little tiny plans to implement it, because it doesn't do us any good. And we all are guilty of it. We gather all this great information, but we never have the time to implement it. Now's the time. So just do one thing. One thing.
Just do it.
Do one thing.
Stay active. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here on Facebook Live. Remember, we are in this together. ppa.com/inittogether for upcoming resources. We'll be adding to it all the time. And don't forget, wash your hands. Be safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. And we're here for you guys. All right.
Bye, y'all.
See you guys later. Take care.
Bye.